Well, hello, hello. Welcome back. Isn't it good to know that you're already awake? You're already enlightened? Hmm. Yeah, I know. Isn't that cool? You are perfectly at home and awake in God where you've always been and you've never left. Isn't that cool? So that is truth. When we accept atonement for ourselves, we're acknowledging that the separation never took place. This is why all spiritual paths lead eventually to the same end. And it's not an end at all. What winds up happening is we let go of the ego, no matter how much time that may take. We wind up disidentifying with the ego and realizing we've never left our source. Ideas leave not their source, and you are an idea. We have no problem in the world suggesting that God is an idea, that everything we concoct here on this planet are ideas. And we are also ideas. Ideas leave not their source. We're often described here in A Course in Miracles as the thought of God, the extension of God. Love only extends itself. We've never left our source, which means you are awake. You are awake. We all are. That's truth. So, why then, you might ask, are we on this thing called a spiritual path? Why do we appear to be in this 80% water thing that we refer to as a body? Why does all of this crap appear to be happening? Well, let's delve into all of that and let's allow correction to be where it's needed, the level of mind. In our perception, let's invite the Holy Spirit to correct our perception. That is the atonement as well. It's acknowledging that the separation never took place, and it's also accepting the correction of the Holy Spirit, which is that perception that this never occurred. So, what do we do here in the world where we need to appear to wake up? We need to have the experience of waking up because we're not aware of our essential oneness yet. What do we do? Well, heal, forgive. All of the activities that we refer to in this world as spiritual practice, in any tradition, by the way. I'm here talking about A Course in Miracles. That's what this video series is about, but it's not the only way. It's a self-study curriculum. That's the genius of this course, is that it's not a religion. It's not another cult. It's not another sect with guidelines for behavior. Thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. There's none of that here. It's self-study. So in it, we're invited to get in touch with our inner teacher and allow our inner teacher to run the show, the whole thing, give over all of our experience. And a beautiful prayer is to ask your inner teacher, to ask the Holy Spirit to direct your forgiveness. Powerful, simple, short, powerful. That's a good one. Yeah, if you don't ask for that, it's a good thing to ask for. Well, you don't have to, but I do. And it's very powerful. So this is only one of many traditions here in the world, but we need healing. And understand, of course, because we're already awake in God, we just don't realize it. We are not aware of it at this present moment because we appear to be here running around, checking email, going to the bathroom, having dinner, things like that, all of what we call daily life. Our true life is one with God. So here in the world, we need healing, and it's only temporary because ultimately, of course, there's nothing to heal and there's nothing to forgive. We're perfect as we are. However, we're not having that experience. So how do we get back to that constant experience? Well, we practice forgiveness. We forgive our brother. We forgive the images that appear in our lives. I mean, they're appearing on a screen like a movie screen. If that's a helpful analogy, our mind is the projector, and what we experience in the world are the images on the screen. Now, you can choose to get up and walk out of the dark movie theater into the light anytime you wanna. Each of us has that choice. So each time we forgive, each time we remember to extend love, each time we remember to ask our inner teacher for guidance, we're hastening that moment when we finally get up and walk out. If that is a helpful visual to you, every act of forgiveness brings awakening that much closer. This course aims to save us time, lots of time, if you want to. So in the last couple of paragraphs here in chapter 2, part 5 of the text, paragraphs 9 and 10, Jesus talks about charity. And it's very interesting because charity here in the text of A Course in Miracles has a different meaning than it does in common parlance. We tend to think of charity as giving, and I'm perfect example, charity and gift giving during the holiday season. As I record this, it's the Christmas and Hanukkah, right? The December holiday season. It's the 13th of December here in North America as I record this. So it's a perfect example of what the world thinks of as charity, as donations to the Salvation Army in the United States anyway. There are likely similar organizations in other countries in the world. And that's what the world thinks of as charity. Here, it's a little different, as you might imagine. Course in Miracles, healing rests on charity, and it's a way of perceiving another's perfection, even if you cannot see your own. Powerful. It's a way of perceiving another's perfection, their oneness with God, even if you cannot see your own. This is what healing does. It's what forgiveness does. We're forgiving our brother for what he or she or they did not do. They didn't harm us. There's no other. There's no duality. We're not two, we're one. There is no other person with whom to interact in truth. We're all one. One equals one, not 8 billion. We're one with God. So when we practice true forgiveness, as it's taught here in A Course in Miracles, we're forgiving somebody for what they did not do. We're overlooking what appeared to happen in the world, however egregious it may have appeared to be. And by the way, there's some serious abuse that goes on on this planet. Right? We're all fully aware of that. If you find yourself in a position where this type of forgiveness is not something you can do for a certain person right now, don't worry about that. Start with what you're capable of, right? Start with what speaks to you. And that's really important that you start with what speaks to you, isn't it? Because this is all about getting in touch with your inner teacher. It's all about asking the Holy Spirit for guidance. So if you're capable of forgiving the dog for throwing up on the floor, do that. Yeah. If you feel like, okay, I can forgive myself for something that I may have done, start with that. Because we didn't really actually do that. This entire world is an illusion. So it's a lot to wrap your head around at first, isn't it? But this is the essence of all non-dual spiritual traditions, and there are others in this world. A Course in Miracles is just one of them. So we're looking past what someone appeared to do to the light, who they are, even if we can't see it in ourselves. If we train ourselves to see it in everyone else, we're seeing it in ourselves. 1 equals 1. Powerful. When these ideas are first introduced, I fully get how weird they can sound. I mean, you may find yourself thinking, huh? What? What do you mean there's no world? What do you mean I'm not a body? Yeah. To question all of this is good. It's essential. It's essential. It's part of the spiritual path to question everything. Now, I invite you, as Jesus invites us in this course, to question the foundations of everything that we now believe, everything you've been conditioned, indoctrinated, if you prefer, to believe, everything you've been taught by your biology textbooks, like this is your eternal reality, or it's going to last 80 years if you're lucky. Yeah, question that. Question everything. Questioning is great on the path. It's essential. So if you're doing it, good. Keep doing it. But don't stop when it feels convenient for you to stop. Don't just question what appears to be coming out of my mouth. It's actually not coming out of my mouth. I'm a pixelated image on your screen. That's what you're seeing. What you're hearing, however, is very different. What you're hearing is your inner teacher. That's why we're all drawn to spiritual practice. And when we listen to any teacher in this world, anyone who's talking about spirituality or love or something that we resonate deeply with, we're hearing the voice for God. We're hearing our inner teacher saying, yes, whispering in our ear, maybe gently, maybe loudly, I don't know. We're maybe getting an intuitive hit that something resonates. Inevitably, I'm going to say something that resonates with you. Inevitably. I don't know what that may be. This is why I show up and teach. So I never know. None of us ever knows what is going to really, truly impact the course of someone's life for good, for positive. We don't really know. So our job is to show up and teach, to show up and forgive, to extend love. Now, you don't have to teach in the manner that I'm doing it. This is my own particular calling. What's yours? Ask your inner teacher for guidance. That's really the answer to all of this. Ask your inner teacher to show you the way. Not everybody has to turn on a camera and microphone and broadcast to an international audience. That's my particular calling. But not everybody's comfortable with that. And you may have a different way of reaching people, but there are people that only you can reach. This is so important. There are people that are ready for you and your message, whatever form that appears to take. It could take the form of a hug. I mean, you don't know. It could take the form of smiling and wishing somebody good morning, because boom, that's what they really need right now. And we don't know. We don't know. So ours is to continue to show up and extend love in whatever manner that may appear to take. So again, with the idea in these two paragraphs of charity and forgiveness and healing, it's a way of acknowledging our brother's light, which is our own. Because we are awake in God. We're simply removing the barriers to our experience of that. The introduction to A Course in Miracles puts it this way: we're removing the barriers to our experience of love's presence, to our awareness of love's presence. In other words, we're removing the barriers to truth. But we've never left our source, but it's obscured for us right now. So we're removing the veil. And in paragraph 10, Jesus points out that charity, as we're talking about, is a way of looking at your brother as though he's gone far beyond his accomplishments in the world. He has. It's a way of looking through appearances to the light, to the essence, to the core of who we are. The separation never occurred. So yes, of course, we've all, in this thing that we call time, gone far beyond what appearances show us. We're already there. We're simply removing the barriers to this, to our awareness of it, so that we may experience our oneness with God, which, by the way, even here in the world, running around as this thing we call a human body, we can experience this essential oneness even here. It can't be approached in words. All a teacher can do, all I can do, is point and talk about it so that we may begin to understand it. And my hope here is to inspire you to practice, to inspire your forgiveness, to inspire you to get in touch with your inner teacher, to experience our oneness with God, because it can be experienced. Of course, it can be experienced because we've never left. So we're removing the blocks to that experience. When you offer a miracle to your brother, to the Son of God, you shorten the suffering for both of you. To give and to receive are one in truth. That is a very well-known idea from this course. And of course, that would be true, wouldn't it? There's no separation of any kind. So when you extend a miracle to someone else, you're extending it to yourself, because there is no one else. There is no one else. This is very simple, which, as we discover, doesn't mean it's easy to remember. I know. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be beautiful if we didn't need any of this? I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because we all need healing. We all need to extend love and extend forgiveness to the Son of God so that we may wake up ourselves. There's only one of us. So when you forgive someone else, you're forgiving yourself at the same time. Another thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up is we're having this experience. It appears, of course, to be a linear experience where one moment appears to follow another in a sequence, and we call it linear time. In fact, all of this separation, which never occurred, appeared to happen all at once. So time's not linear. Time is an illusion. It's not linear. In fact, past, present, and future all took place at once. What the Course calls the tiny mad idea of separation was over the instant it appeared to occur. It never occurred. We can't be separate from our source. Ideas leave not their source. Time, being holographic, means past, present, future are all appearing to, well, it appears that we're just right here in the present, but everything has already taken place. So, mind blower, if you're not used to this idea, in living this life, we're reviewing what already took place. We're reviewing it, and the Holy Spirit helps us review it because our inner teacher sees it from the end, and it's a review. Everything that we consider to be the future has already happened. So each and every one of us has gotten in touch with our inner teacher enough to decide to get up and walk out of the movie theater into the sunlight, and the theater itself is gone. It's as though it never were there, because it never was. Lots of powerful stuff to consider, but never fear. I'll give you more. Yeah, this course is good for that. So where we're going next is we're going to talk about special principles of miracle workers. There are several of them here, and we're continuing on with part 5, chapter 2, part 5 of the text. That's where we're going next. The subscription button is right here, little red arrow. Please feel welcome to join me. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. And thank you so much for subscribing and for all of the comments and questions. I am here to be a guide and a support and assistance for you on your journey. So if you have questions or comments, please feel welcome to leave them here. And thank you, as always, for joining me and for your practice.